We have seen the global impact that climate change has on our planet, causing the enormous amount of problems that we have nowadays. But which are the most dangerous and notorious effects on our beautiful Mexico? In the modern times, the temperature of the planet is regulated by the atmosphere, which is composed of elements like nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, carbon dioxide, ozone, methane, among many others, which are important factors as the climate of each region depends on the time and location. That's why there are warmer places compared to other countries. But when a section of the sunlight energy is reflected in the terrestrial part while another section is reflected on the sea, the reflected energy manifests as heat. When this happens, the greenhouse gases absorb a part of the heat and keep it in the atmosphere. Thanks to these gases, the planet remains in homeostasis. But this balance is constantly affected due to the use of fossil fuels for the production of energy in many factories and means of transport. And also, there is tangible evidence such as the notable deterioration in water and air quality within our locality is constantly affected, which is negatively impacting our environment and health almost every day. Unfortunately, Mexico ranks 30th in emissions of gases and compounds and annually contributes 1.38% of greenhouse gases from all around the world, which is reflected in 700 million tons of carbon dioxide that are trapped in the atmosphere. When you think about it, it is really illogical for Mexicans to keep contributing to this problem as we are a very vulnerable country to the effects of climate change. Let's begin with some geographical issues. First of all, we live in a large country where hurricanes occur in both the Atlantic and the Pacific coast. Also, it is a meeting point of two biogeographic regions. In the north, we have intense droughts, while in the south there are torrential rain events that cause landslides and floods. Another important thing to consider is that our territory has diverse ecosystems with different climates. Also, we own many endemic species and more than 11,500 kilometers of coasts that are susceptible to rising sea levels, with 18% of the Mexican population inhabiting.
We keep contributing to this worldwide predicament by cutting down thousands of square kilometers of forests and jungles for livestock, agriculture, hotel areas, and cities, losing biodiversity and fertile soils. But also, another factor that sums to climate change is the energy sector, particularly the impact on the fossil fuels of the environment. 86.8% of the energy we produce in Mexico comes from hydrocarbons, oils produced for the industries and transportations, which are used by approximately 120 million people currently. The way we use energy increases the production of gases that affect the environment, being the food industry one of the sectors with more responsibility because it involves processes such as the production, processing of the product, the elaboration of the packaging, and finally the transportation to their final destiny. Every stage in the process involves energy consumption and release in form of greenhouse gases.
Mexico is considered as one of the top consumer countries all around the globe. According to the international firm Kantar World Panel, the world average of visits to buy consumer goods is 100 per year, while the Mexican makes an average of 260 visits per year. The main problem here is that the industries use the cheapest materials to create the products because their main objective is to produce the biggest amount of product as possible so that they can obtain higher profits. But most of the time, they do not care about the impact that those materials have on the planet. On the other hand, some consumers do not think about the power that their opinion has on the industries because they can sue a company and ask for sustainable products. It is an advantage they have, but they are not aware of. Most of consumers in Mexico buy the least expensive products, which may seem as a benefit for them, but it is not sustainable nor eco-friendly. It may not be a monetary issue, but we will pay with our health the damage we have caused to the world because of buying this type of materials.
Climate change should not discourage us. It should be a motivation to research for solutions, to be interested in the events and turn this problem into an opportunity. There have been several agreements made by people who have a great interest in bringing moderation to the current situation, but it needs the participation of everyone to see a significant change. Let's take the Paris Agreement as an example, in which Mexico and other 174 countries committed to reduce gas emissions and the vulnerability of the population. Furthermore, the government, industry, and society must promote the use of clean technology, support the sustainable livestock projects, increase the planting of native trees, support the cultivation of native bees, and make visible the problem of climate change and support it. Let's work together to see a brighter and cleaner place, because if we don't stop it, imagine the future generations will live in the trash that we produced, and this vicious circle will never end.